Hey everyone, welcome back. In this video, I'm going to be making a ribbon station where I'm going to store all my ribbons and wrapping paper, tissue paper, anything like that. So I got this piece at the thrift store for $20. It was missing a shelf on top, but I decided that was okay. I didn't need it because as you can see, I'm drilling holes and using that little metal stick to make sure that it slides in and out the hole easily, and it's easy to get my ribbons on and off if I have to replace them or take them off. And I'm getting all of the holes drilled all on the back, so it's going to go down the entire piece on the back, and then it'll go down halfway in the front. So I'm finishing up drilling my holes. And now I decided to put this piece on wheels. I figured that it would be way more accessible and functional and easy. If I need to get ribbon from the back or the front, I can just roll it around and move it very easily. So it didn't have holes underneath, so I do have to drill the holes in order to put the wheels in. It wasn't hard. I just had to take the little post out that it had on there already. So I took them out. Now I'm just drilling the holes and making sure that the wheels are nicely secured in there, that they won't come out, and that they're nice and tight. It doesn't go all the way in, but I get it to go basically mostly in. There's only a little bit of the screw still showing, but I did make sure that it was really tight. I tried to pull it out with the hammer. It didn't come out. So I think that it's nice and secure and we're good to go with the wheels. So I'm just flipping that over and doing the other side. And then once I get the holes drilled and these wheels on, then you will be able to see how nicely it moves around. So I'm just finishing up, and then now you can see how it moves around and how it's very easy. And they also have little brakes on it, so when I put that post down it won't move, and then when I put it up it's easy to move again. So now we're ready to move on. I'm using 150 sandpaper to sand all my holes and the entire piece before I paint it. So I'm just going in every hole, sanding them, and then I will start to paint. So I'm using this blush pink chalked paint by Rust-Oleum, and I'm going to cover the entire piece except for where the shelves are, because we're going to be covering them with contact paper, so you don't need to paint the shelves. If you do a project like this and decide to use contact paper, save yourself a step. You don't need to paint under this paper because no one will see it, and it won't make a difference if you paint it. So I'm just getting this all painted. Now I'm just going over, making sure I got all of the surfaces covered, any spots that I missed, doing a final coat. And then now we will be ready to move on to cover our shelves with the contact paper. I got this contact paper at Walmart. I think it was about $20 for a roll. I did get 2 rolls because I wasn't sure how much I would need. And you can always return it if you don't use it, but I like to have more instead of less, because there's nothing worse than being in the middle of a project and having to stop because you've run out of supplies. So I'm getting all of the surfaces of the shelves covered. I am doing underneath the shelves as well. You'll see that when I get done. I'll show you guys what that looks like. And then I'm just using a little bit of hot glue around the edges just to make sure that it's extra secure, and over time the stickiness doesn't come off or start to tear. So this will just make sure it's secure and it will stand through any wear and tear and time over the years that goes by. So I'm just finishing this up now. I'm getting under the second shelf covered. And then after I get underneath the second shelf covered, now I'm ready to move on to our bottom shelf. This will be the last shelf that we'll have to cover. And I'm just using a razor blade. After I get the whole shelf covered and it hot glued down and secured, I'm just using a little razor blade that I have just to cut off the excess. So it's a nice straight line and no little papers, frays, or anything like that. So I'm going to finish up doing this, and then once we're done this, we'll be ready to move on to our next step. So now this step is optional. I just wanted the silver to match the gold. I didn't want it to have both silver and gold. So I'm just going over the silver metal part of the wheels. I didn't paint the actual wheels because I don't want any paint to start chipping off, whether it's on tile or on my carpet. I just didn't want that to happen. So I'm just doing the metal part around the wheels and painting them gold so it matches my piece. So now I'm moving on and I'm drilling holes to put in an extra shelf. So then I'll have a total of 3 shelves to use for storage and to store some stuff. So I'm just getting that nicely tightened in. And now this is what the piece looks like after being painted and covered with the contact paper before we put our sticks in for the ribbon. So as you can see, I did under the shelves, so everything is covered and nicely looking. There's no color from the previous wood that it was. So now I'm just using this clear glaze and going over all the areas of the paint that I've spray painted just to make sure that it's nicely sealed and covered. So now I'm ready to put in my sticks that I'm going to be using for my ribbon. So I'm getting that set up. And then before I put my ribbon in, I'm attaching this basket on the one side, and I will have my wrapping paper on this side. And then I had these adjustable strings that I'm stapling on the sides, and then I will pull it across and staple it on the other side. So then after I put my wrapping paper in, then this will hold it in place and keep it all secure and that it's not hanging out or falling because they are a little big. So I just wanted extra security. So now I'm just loading all of my wrapping paper in, and then once I have all my rolls in the basket, I will tie my string, making sure it's nice and tight and secure. And this is how it looks. So now I'm going to flip this piece over, and on the other side, I'm going to use these other 2 baskets that I had, and I'm zip tying them on the other side, and I will put all my contact paper in there. And I'm going to do the same thing with adjustable string, stapling it on each side. And then after I load all my contact paper in, I will tighten that and adjust that so that's nicely secured too. So this is how the contact paper side came out. And now we're ready to load on our ribbon. So I'm getting all of my ribbon onto the sticks that I did spray paint them gold as well. They were silver, but I wanted to spray paint them gold so they matched. And I have a lot of ribbon, so I had to put them in piles first of alike colors and alike holidays like Christmas and Halloween and Thanksgiving and all of my holidays. So I am going to organize it on the sticks according to color and holidays. So now that I have all my ribbon on there, I'm going to organize my tissue paper. I actually took an old drying rack that I used to have in my kitchen. I spray painted it gold, and now I'm just organizing my tissue paper by color. So this is what it looks like. And now this is how my piece came out. Here's all my ribbon on the back. It goes all the way down, organized by colors and holidays. And then this is the front of the piece. I have my ribbon up top going about halfway down, and then I have my tissue paper, and then my boxes and labels on the bottom, and then up top I have all my extra gift boxes. And on the side I did hang a hook. I hot glued it on there so it would stay, and I hung all my bags on there. And this is how I set it up in my basement with all my arts and crafts supplies. And I'm really happy with how this came out. It matches my side table that I did. And then next I'm going to be redoing that desk that's next to the side table. So I hope you enjoyed watching this video. Like, comment, share, and subscribe, and come back for more.